What's up, you guys? How you doing today? So, in today's video, we're going to be going over, as you guys had voted on, the Joker. And this isn't the only Joker look that we have. There's actually a lot of them that I want to show you guys. And we'll get right into that. But follow me over on Twitter. You guys can take part in these polls and stuff that we do and choose who's going to be the next superhero that we do. So, as far as Joker goes, I'm going to go through a lot of different cosmetics. And I based it off of this picture that I found on the internet as to how I was building this Joker. So you guys can kind of see like what I was using to really figure out a Joker look and everything. So if we go into appearance, this is what we have. These are the color layouts that we got. You guys can see this is from the Twilight color palette. It's the one right down here. Secondary color is just the white from the classic or classic saturated. It's the same thing. Tertiary color right here is the orange that you guys see right there. The other Joker looks that I'm going to show you are basically using the same purples, oranges, and greens. And then we use the green up here from the Infested color palette for all that stuff. And then orange, and then the energy really depends for both Jokers. I'm going to show you guys. It depends on where the green wound up, or I mean like where the basically what it was coloring is to determine the color on this. But we got this Joker right here, right? Looks it looks all right. It's not that bad. I mean, it doesn't look exactly like Joker, but, you know, it's Warframe. We're doing what we can. So then we got these other skins over here, right? Which, actually, that's not what I wanted here. The Limbo helmet. So check this out, right? We got this helmet, right? We got this one. You guys could use on Joker. This one, which is like, I don't really see that being a good Joker look. But then we got these Tenogen ones, and they look pretty cool. So let's check this out. We got this Tenogen helmet right there. Right, fancy, very snazzy, very nice Joker looking helmet. And we got this one, looks pretty cool, right? It's not necessarily the Joker look, but it still gives it the Joker look, which is it's cool. It definitely looks nice. And we got this one right here, which is, you know, I don't think this necessarily looks like Joker, but it's still cool. It's still cool for Limbo. But then we have, wow, the fanciest of all Limbo looks I think I've ever seen. This is just snazzy. Like, this suit is just lit. This dude is like going to prom and wedding at the he's going to prom and getting married there at the same time. Like, this is just a fancy looking Limbo skin. And I really like this one. I actually really like this skin. Even with the Joker colors on it, it just looks mad cool. I just really like this skin. So you guys get to take a look at this and all that sort of stuff. But now let's go to Limbo Prime. This is the other Limbo, the other Joker look that I want to show you guys. Is we'll go check out Limbo Prime for a second. So over here we got the appearance. I think I put it on this one here. Okay, so cool. This I think is my favorite Joker look. I think this is the one that I like the most with the Limbo Prime. And you guys can see, like, compared to the picture that I was using, you know, it's Warframe. It's not going to be perfect, just like, you know, all the other superheroes and stuff, but it's cool. It's definitely cool. It definitely looks really good. And this is the one that I like most. So what I kind of want to do is I actually want to show you guys really quick a little bit about how to use Limbo, because I feel like a lot of people just hate on him, or they don't understand him. They don't get his purpose. And he kind of is a Joker, in a sense, with his ability to take things in and out of the riff. So if we take a look at the Joker build, this is what I have on here for Joker right now, or for Limbo right now. So this is what I'm currently rocking on him. This is Zero Forma. It only has a reactor on it. And you guys can just kind of see, like, this is really, we're focused on a lot of duration. It depends on what you're using the build for, is whether you want a lot of duration or a little duration, how big you want the range to be, you know, big or small or whatever. This is an average size range. It's fine for what we're going to do. But for the most part, you know, the Limbo you're looking to build, it really depends on what you're using him for. But this is just a mock Limbo build here. And we're going to take him out, and I'm just going to kind of show you guys. And as far as the guns and stuff like that goes, I mean, it's Joker. You're going to get him some guns, you know, maybe some ridiculous-looking guns or whatever would be fine. But I'm not really concerned about the weapons for him right now. I'm more concerned, and I think it'd be more helpful for you guys to really just get an understanding as to, like, how Limbo works. and you know how you're supposed to be playing him and how it makes sense, because Limbo is a great Warframe in the game, but he gets a lot of hate because people don't understand how to play him. They don't understand what they're supposed to be doing with him. So they don't really play him correctly, and no wonder. Limbo's not the kind of frame where you're just going to one button push and be done with it. So I'm going to kind of come in here and just walk you guys through the basics with Limbo so you kind of have an understanding. So the first thing you want to know is that Limbo operates on two different planes of existence. There's the reality that we're in right now, and then there's the Rift, which is like an overlapping alternate reality of what we're in right now. So if I go to roll, Limbo actually does this cool little like slide maneuver like that. And when he does, he puts behind this little rift portal, which if any of your teammates walk through, they wind up in the rift as well. And if you want to get out of that, you could always just roll. So if you wind up in a Limbo rift and you're like, damn it, I don't want to be in here, just roll, and it'll take you out. Just like that. So I could basically just see this enemy right here, and if I go into the rift now, I'm in a different plane of existence, overlapping reality. So he sees me, but he can't hurt me because I'm not on the same plane of existence. Just in an overlapping one, right? So there's nothing he can do. If I go to use my first ability on him right now, nothing happens because I'm in the rift. However, if I come out of the rift, and then I use my first ability on him, I now just put him in the rift, which he was super weak and died. But basically the first ability is, I just put these guys in the rift, and now they can't hurt me because I'm not in the rift. So basically your first ability, like, you want to use this on big ass enemies like bombards, heavy gunners, just any of those kind of enemies. So like if you're being attacked, your team's getting screwed and you're like, oh no, we gotta stop these hard enemies to kill. Like let's say you're doing later game stuff, you want to put the bigger enemies in the rift. The little ones that you can kill, not that big of a deal, you just kill them, right? But the big ones that take a while, just totally rift them. You know, like use your first ability on them and now boom, they can't touch anybody. And then once you put something in the rift, like if these guys weren't dying, once I put them in the rift, I can go into the rift myself by rolling, and now I can kill them one-on-one. So if I just wanted to put one enemy into the rift, take him out so he stops hurting my teammates, and then go attack him, I can do that. So I'll put him in the rift with the first ability, then I'll go into the rift and I'll take him out myself while I'm in there. Or I could just roll like this. One of my teammates could walk through this and they could go after the guy that's in the rift. But that's really, it's like an on-off switch, basically. Are you in the rift? Are you not in the rift? Are the enemies in the rift? Are they not in the rift? And you really can only fight people that are on the same plane of existence as you guys. Another thing that you want to do with Limbo, and this is a big habit you want to get into, let's say you're doing defenses or stuff like that. Oh, by the way, his first ability, putting things in the rift, that works on rescue targets. So if you guys are going to rescue targets in rescue missions, you could throw them in the rift and they can't take damage. Like, nothing's going to be able to hurt them unless that thing winds up in the rift as well. So it's a cool way to kind of save things. There's also sorties that people use Limbo on with defense targets. Instead of it being like an actual stationary, you know, structure you have to defend, sometimes when you do sorties, you get defenses where it's like a person that you have to defend. You can throw that person in the rift. Depending on how big your duration is going to depend on, you know, how long you're going to have to wait before you can put him in the rift again. But he will ultimately come out of it, time will run up, and you'll have to, you know, put him back into the rift. So that's just something to note there. Another thing that you guys want to know is when it comes to stationary defense targets or excavators or just any particular thing that you guys might be like, yeah, totally just need to defend this target. What you want to do is you want to use your second ability, and then you want to use your fourth ability, right? And what that does is, when it's combined together like that, what it does is, and I think this guy died. I'm too strong to be here on Earth, but you guys, I'll walk you through what happens. So you use your second ability, and then you use your ultimate ability. And what happens is, because you've used your second ability and your ult, what winds up happening is that when enemies walk up to this, and they wind up in the rift, they get frozen because you used your second ability. And then what happens is this, because it's receding, it's slowly getting smaller and smaller. They'll wind up in here, get frozen, and then this thing will recede, and they'll wind up not in the rift anymore, and then they'll be able to move. And what typically happens is, once they can move again, they move back into it and get frozen again. So basically, it's almost like a constant freezing that you're doing on the enemies until you kill them. Another thing to note about the bubble that we used here is that This is separating reality from the rift in just bubble form. So if I step in here, I'm in the rift. I can only kill other things that are in the rift. If something is outside of this bubble and I'm inside here in the rift, I can't kill that stuff from inside of here. I'm actually going to have to be in the same... Remember, you have to be in the same plane of existence. So watch what happens when enemies come in here. If they wind up in the rift, you're not going to be able to kill them unless you're in here. And if they're outside of it and you're inside of that, you have to come out to kill them. Like, you have to be in the same plane of existence to be able to kill enemies. So that's just an important thing for you guys to know. So for the most part, you guys, that's how you play Limbo. I'm leaving out his third ability because I can't even get it to work on this level. It's not that big of... I don't really hear people using his third ability all that often anyway. But give me a second, I'll actually show you guys what it does. So, here we go. Third abilities. So Rift Surge. Surges nearby rift-bound enemies with rift energy. When killed, the Rift Surge is transferred to a nearby enemy outside the rift. Surged enemies that leave the rift perform a radial banish. For the most part, you guys, that's Limbo. That's how you use him. He's an important frame. He's super helpful. If you guys get good with Limbo, then kudos to you. I think the biggest reason Limbo would qualify for Joker is probably because of this and how you can banish your teammates. So the number one thing, like the banish ability, yeah, you could totally use that on your teammates. Teammates can still... like, walk through this little rift surge right here and become rift bound. They can wind up in the rift. Which is very effective if you have somebody that's, like, new to the game and maybe doesn't have a good build and you're kind of protecting. It's definitely a good combo. You can keep them alive and help them out a lot. Or you could troll them, like the Joker would. Which is the reason why Limbo has a bad name and a lot of people hate Limbo, is because he just gets used as a trolley frame. But again... if you get caught in the rift and you don't want to be there, just roll. That's it. It's so easy. It's super simple. Just roll yourself out the rift. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed Joker and all the Joker looks. I hope you're having an amazing day as per always. Again, follow me over on Twitter and there'll be more polls and stuff you guys can participate in to see who's going to be the next superheroes or villains that we're going to cover in this series. And yeah, love your faces and I will see you guys in the next one.